and I was truly blown away by the performance of this sub $40 hatchet. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here at Gideonstactical. If you're new to the channel, I'm Aaron, and I think that any outdoorsman worth their salt would say that there are 3 essential tools for bushcraft, including a very reliable fixed blade that can do your carving and whittling and do wood shaping around camp and get a lot of tasks done that way, along with a man-portable saw to be able to fall trees, help with shelter building and feeding the fire, and even doing larger like notches and things like that. And then finally, a reliable compact axe or hatchet to split wood, to shape it, help fall trees and delimb and do all the work that you would want to do around camp. Well, over the last few months, I have found 3 tools that fall into this category that I purchased on Amazon, and when you put all 3 of them in your cart, they add up to less than $100. And I found that their performance to cost ratio is excellent, and I cannot wait to unpack that with you. And since I do a lot of knife reviews, we're going to start with the fixed blade, but if you're familiar with any type of tool that I'm unpacking, I have chapters in the timeline below. You can just skip ahead to the next tool and make sure to stick around, because the last one we've never seen here on the channel before, but it just punches so far above its like weight class. I was stunned when I got it and started using it. So the fixed blade, the ODENWOLF W series. I just bought it on a whim. It was $35 on Amazon. I'll have links popping up wherever right there, and there'll be lists in the description box below, so if you want to check those out over on my Amazon store. When I dropped the $35, I was like not expecting a lot. You guys had told me like, you gotta check out ODENWOLF, they're pretty cool, it's a German-owned company. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know, but we haven't done a budget-friendly one in a while, let's do it. Whoa! 4.5 inches of blade length right away. That was outstanding to me on an 1/8 inch thick stock, full tin construction all the way through. 90-degree spine. You can get a choice. I bought the Scandi first. I was so impressed with it on camping trips and backpacking that I decided to pull the trigger on the full flat. Got that in, so there's choices there. Scandi's excellent for woodscraft, not quite as versatile in utility and like food prep. And the full flats, you could argue, is a little bit more like high performing in general utility, but still can do a lot of woodscraft. Both 90 degree, just really surprising in their capabilities. And with D2 steel, Rockwell at 60, I was like, okay, you know, for a sub $50 knife, I'm not expecting a whole lot, and are we gonna get a lot of damage? I was blown away. On the full flat, I batoned through something way like thicker than I should have with like a knot, and it warped that blade horrifically. I was like, okay, this thing is so ruined. It's either gonna be bent permanently, or when I get through this log, it's gonna split in half, you know, I'm gonna break the knife. And it sprung right back into place, straight as an arrow. I was like, okay. And then I took the Scandi, which potentially I've done other D2 that just gets gnarled up and, you know, sawtoothed and whatever. I chopped with it, batoned with it, did all kinds of stuff with it. Held up amazingly well. Didn't get any toothy damage. Had basically the factory edge still on it, which was just like, how is that even possible? So I was really blown away. And then finally you get an ambidextrous polymer sheath with good webbing attachment, drop leg. I mean, it is really stunning what this blade brings to the table in the variety of choices and color. So for 35 bucks, guys, I'll have the full reviews as well in the description box below on these items. So if you want to like get a deeper kind of dive into these, you can. But if you were looking for something that's not a Mora, you know, Moras are excellent. I'll never dog them. But you just want something with like better sheath right out of the gate, 90-degree spine, you know, those type of things, better edge retention. These ODENWOLFs are shockingly good, and I'm going to be purchasing some other designs because they have a lot of other, you know, models to see how those perform as well. Now, before we get to our next tool, I do want to invite you guys to like and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell icon so you can be notified every week when I put up new content just like this, helping you guys determine through the video if a particular item is worth putting in rotation or it's better to pass on. That's what I hope to do in every single video that I create for you guys, because it is truly you, the viewers, in partnership with our regular sponsors, that help me to create content just like this. And I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is HUCKBERRY. And with cooler temperatures right around the corner, it's a perfect opportunity to gear up on some excellent, well-built outdoor apparel. Introducing their waxed jacket outpost. This is kind of their one-stop shop for this iconic material in all sorts of different designs, including my favorite, this waxed trucker jacket. This is flannel lined. I'm on my second season. Having this built in America with material sourced from New Jersey and then cut and sewn in LA, it has been bulletproof here in the Colorado high country and is so durable and keeps me warm. And it's such an iconic design. My wife recently was like, do they have that design for women? And they have recently released a women's cut version of this jacket. So we got one for her, and she sports it all the time and looks great in it, and it's just a perfect design for men and women. But if you're more of a hoodie guy, don't worry, they have their 10-year hoodie that is designed in both pullover as well as zip up. I have both. They're sourced out of the Mississippi Delta, sewn in LA, and these things are so warm. An extra large hood to really keep out the wind, perfect for like tailgating, hanging out with friends, or working around your property, preparing a campfire, that type of stuff. I mean, it is an excellent designed hoodie, and that's just scratching the surface. I mean, I'm wearing like American-made denim jeans from Flint and Tinder, and the list goes on and on. And as an added bonus, along with the link in the description box below over to HUCKBERRY, I have my exclusive 10% off promo code you can apply towards your very first purchase, saving you a little extra scratch. And while you're over there, with any purchase of $75 or more, you can get entered in to win through September 26th into their Pappy giveaway, which is $15,000 worth of prizes and cash. It's just wild. So all of the information will be included in that link, and I'll have that promo code as well. So I invite you guys, go check out what HUCKBERRY's got going on and score yourself some excellent gear and apparel this fall. Now to our second tool, the man portable saw. And I think I'm on year 4 with this brand using these saws, and cannot say enough good things about the value that they bring to the performance. And I'm talking about the Samurai series of saws. This is a 9-inch Kanzawa, the model, you can pause it right there. I think it's the KISS, it's like 240 model. 9 inches when you kick that thing out. Whoosh, and yes, they are made in Japan, and they, I believe, predate World War II, so they've been around forever creating these saws. And I really like the 9-inch version, which originally I think I paid $26 for. When I'm making the video, I believe they're like $23. So I mean, just mind-boggling to get a Japanese-made saw that way. And the design for 9 inches, the weight makes, like how light it is to how much blade length you get, is excellent for backpacking. I can just get so much done, get a full batch of firewood for, like an evening or two. If I wanted to practice my bushcraft, I can easily fall smaller trees to help me build like a lean-to with a tarp, do those type of things. The curvature just really accelerates your pull cut in tandem with the way the handle ergonomics are designed right there. Nice and rubbery. I love the high vis, like green and red, so you don't lose it if you like throw it down somewhere. You got that locking mechanism with the metal housing around the main pivot with a Phillips and a flat kind of combo, so you can swap out blades even with like a flat head or like a washer or something like that. So excellent in that way. And one of the things that has really stood out to me through the years is that I have broken, like snapped the blades on other Japanese-made saws. You guys know who? Just for different reasons. These are much more forgiving. They flex more. I have never broken a Samurai. And I have this version, and I have, I think, a 13-inch fixed version with a sheath. They have several different variants. And so they're just a more forgiving blade for me. Still seem to hold their edge just fine. And I don't know if there's a single model that costs more than 50 bucks. So they're like all under 50 bucks to my knowledge. And it has just proved itself time and time again. The one thing to note, if you are doing like true bushcrafting, is that you can definitely get up and get, like finer cuts if you're using them for notches, but because of the saw curvature, a straight bladed version would be more ideal if you're wanting to do really fine, precise saw cuts and not as much like gross motor skill, you're just wanting to process wood. I view this much more as a wood processor, but it can still give me some notches. It just takes a little bit more finesse when I do something like that. But the Kanzawa and the Samurai series of saws are freaking mind-blowing. Cannot recommend them enough. If you already use Samurais, let me know. And tell me your favorite model and how have they been performing for you through the years. And when I was thinking of doing this video, two axes immediately came to mind, that we've done before. Both the Sportsman's S-Wing series, excellent. They've been around for decades, great tools. And then the FISKARS X7 and the FISKARS series of hatchets, both great. But what I've heard from you guys over the years is that you kind of prefer like a drop forged head and a wood handled axe. That's if you have a choice, and I kind of agree with you. I would prefer that. You could replace that, and they tend to have a little bit thicker heads, better for splitting, things like that. So I was looking around and I came across this, the CAMILLUS. Yeah, we haven't seen that brand forever. CAMILLUS 16-inch hatchet. Now I paid $37 for this. Popping up right there, link below if you're interested. And when this arrived, I was staggered just in the build quality first before we even talk performance. This hickory handle, that's 16 inches from top to bottom, look at the grain structure right there. That is almost perfectly straight. And if you're from the head, and if you're not familiar with grain structure on handles for axes, the more vertical they are to the head, the stronger the handle will be. If you find a lot of like really cheap axes and hatchets will have almost horizontal lines in the grain structure, it means it's not a very good handle material. It's more prone to splinter and break over time. So this is one of the better grain structures, and particularly for under 40 bucks I've seen. Hickory handle, excellent material to choose from. Then we get two tubed pins up here for the wedge. Super nice, flush. I mean, for this price, I was expecting like one pin maybe for a wedge. This thing is rock solid in there. You can tell that they've also done adhesive inside. Through all my testing, I've not had any sort of play, wobbling, wiggling, anything like that. Now, the head, and then the final piece is that you can find a lot of hatchets and axes are under 50 bucks, but they will not come with the sheath. And sometimes the little scabbard, it's like 25 bucks. It's almost like half the cost of the axe. This is a leather scabbard. I've seen just as good a quality on like $200 Swedish axes. I'm sorry to burst some people's bubbles there. I mean, good density of leather, nice button snap. Not fancy, but totally not fancy. Shout out, not fancy. Yeah, I was just like, what? And then we get a drop forged head right here. Now they call it a hot drop forged, whatever. It's a drop forged head. I could not find the material anywhere until I asked ChatGPT if it could dig it up for me. It says it is 1055 steel. So that sounds about right for the cost and everything, and edge retention and ease of resharpening that I have seen. Now the shocking thing was the splitting power. A lot of hatchets will get dug into wood pretty easy, and you got to pound it a couple more times. This exploded wood every time just about that I came in contact with it, regardless if I was using more dense wood or lighter white woods like pine and things like that. This thing did not get stuck in most of the chopping tasks that I was doing. So that was super impressive. The head thickness is about 1 inch on the back, and the face is pretty gradual right there. Now the cutting edge is about 3 1/4, so that's pretty standard. The one drawback that I had was right out of the gate, it looked like it probably had been dropped at the factory on its face, because there was definitely some major marring and like burrs on the edge, and it needed to be worked on. So there's a simple way to do that. You can just literally put any sharpening stone up against it, do a spin move, kind of circular, use a little bit of water, and basically as long as you don't see any light in the gap of the face of the axe to the edge, you'll get a good edge on there. If you really want to take it to the next level, you can actually use what I used was the SHARPEL I think it's called like the survival sharpener. That thing is awesome for like machetes, axes, hatchets. It's a diamond stone. I'll have a link below as well. That one is great for large tools for sharpening, and so that's what I actually used to get like a really good edge on it. I was pretty happy with what I was able to do with, you know, like 10 minutes of elbow grease. Got it to a working performance level, and then went to town with this thing, and all of the chopping, all of the splitting really surpassed my expectations. Chopping and splitting, the grind is really well set up for that. If you want really fine like woods working and shaping of wood, then you will need to do, you know, invest definitely elbow grease. And that is another benefit, is the ergonomics and the balance. They really have cut the handle well. It has a natural grip point right here for smaller quick cuts that feels excellent, very easy to manipulate the tool that way. And then backing up here to your main swing point feels very ergonomic. I didn't even feel like I needed a lanyard hole. Obviously you could do that if you wanted to, but felt great, easy to use the tool. And I was just, for under $40, an excellent pack axe, man portable, which is what I look for in the majority of these tools, because I do so much backpacking and hiking here out west in the Rocky Mountains and in Wyoming and things like that. So that's what you're seeing with a lot of these tools. And ultimately, I'd love to know from you guys, especially if you own one of these, how has it been performing for you? I'd love to know your guys' experience here. We're going to see a full review on this, and we'll talk more about it on the CAMILLUS 16-inch hatchet. But guys, excellent tool. Really blown away by all three of these, and again, you could get all three and be under $100 through Amazon, which is just freaking wild that you can get really good high-performing bushcraft. If you rolled into a bushcraft camp or into a camp and you wanted to do a whole weekend of bushcraft, I think you could definitely hold your own against guys, you know, sporting $1,000 gear. Guys, that's me, my mileage. I hope that this video has been fun and entertaining, but giving you guys some food for thought, ideas on certain gear items as we come near the holidays, maybe gift items that you can gift to somebody who's going to get a lot of performance, but it's not going to break the bank and hurt your pocketbook, and you can bless more people that way. So appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for hanging with me. If you're new to the channel, subscribe again, check out the other video popping up, and until next time, always remember to stay equipped, stay prepared, see you out there.